here we go. Back again. Back again. Alright. And today it is Meme of the Week. And this is the 27th episode. So we have indeed had quite a few memes now. And yes, some crackers as well. And as always, thank you to everyone who gets involved, right? And this was the 5 contenders that we had last week, or about 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure. But the winner was, number 5. And yes, I can indeed see why this one won. And it said, the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. And it's got 2 people with their heads or their faces glued basically to their phone or smart device. And while they are consumed with their phone, the skies above them are being killed, basically sprayed to fucking death. Let's face it. I mean, just go out and look up, as I'm sure most of you who watch this channel already do. And they have been spraying the skies now, probably since the 70s, the early 70s, I would go for. And it's clear to see. But of course, people are too busy with things like sport or politics or shopping or basically entertainment, stuff like Hollywood and Netflix. And of course, all that rolled into one on your phone, which would then take up just about all of your fucking time. And you then have no time to even look up to really see what's happening. And in terms of the phone, we do know that it's heading to becoming not just a fucking phone in your pocket, but part of your body. Right, this is how dependent and reliant people are on phones now, that the future of the mobile phone is indeed an implant. And we have touched on that in the past. But of course, while everyone is consumed with the phone, like we did say, the skies above are being sprayed. And the stuff that they are filling our once beautiful skies with is, well, put it this way, it's not good fucking news, right? This is not for our benefit in any way, shape, or form. And we touched on this before. It was in regards to our heroes at NASA, right? And in the 70s, they done an experiment where they sprayed the skies with aluminium, lithium, and of course, barium. Ain't that a fucking surprise? And in terms of these chemicals that they spray, they are fucking everywhere. And this paper from 2016, it basically says it all. And surprise, surprise, the paper did get retracted. Sure, but it is still there. And it's quite a good article, really, because it says it all. And it's called Human and Environmental Dangers Posed by Ongoing Global Tropospheric Aerosolized Particulates for Weather Modification. Right, because things like weather modification and geoengineering are far, 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 far from a conspiracy theory. And if anybody tells you that it is a conspiracy theory, give them a fucking slap. And then another one from me, right? So since about 2002, they have been collecting water samples and testing them and finding, would you believe it, things like aluminium and barium and strontium and lithium, among other dangerous fucking chemicals, in quite high levels. Levels, basically, that it shouldn't be. Right, so where is it all coming from? But of course, what goes up must come down. Right, so when they spray it, we fucking breathe it straight up. And we do know that aluminium is seriously linked to things like Alzheimer's disease and breast cancer, among other cancers. But really, I bring this all up in terms of the meme, because not only are people consumed with their phone, but I do believe that a lot of this stuff that they are spraying is basically making people not give a fuck. So while people are consumed with their phone or other smart device, the skies above are being sprayed with chemicals that are basically dumbing them down. And of course, it will not just be from above. It will most likely be in the water and in our food, straight up. And this article from the BBC, which came out last year in terms of COVID and why people don't seem to care, right? But our inability to comprehend the suffering that such numbers entail can harm the way we respond to such tragedies. Even now, there is evidence that people are suffering from coronavirus news fatigue and reading less about the pandemic, right? Because they have fucking seen that much shit about it that they then become numb to it. And this is through the media, of course. This might be due, in part, to a psychological phenomenon known as psychic numbing. The idea that the more people die, the less we care. Right? So you can see how they use the media to flood people's minds to a point where they then become numb to what's going on, or simply just don't care and switch off, which is probably the best thing they can do. Switch the fucking TV off. But it's clear to see how they do use the media to manipulate our minds, right? And to expand on it a wee bit more, we not only become numb to the significance of increasing numbers, but our compassion can actually fade or collapse overall as numbers increase. Right? So, the higher it gets, the more people are likely to care less, by the sounds of it. Of course, that is the media used as a tool to manipulate our minds, right? And in terms of empathy, that has indeed, well, I mean, I'm sure the majority of you will know the world we are in today. It's crazy, right? But empathy is basically non-existent. It is hard to find people with any sort of empathy, right? And it says in this paper or article that empathy in this demographic fell by 48% between 1979 and 2009, right? So, since the fucking spraying began, empathy has been on the decline. But of course, that will indeed be a coincidence, right? Sure, but yet empathy is seriously on the decline. And if you want to look up different articles, you certainly will not struggle in finding them, and papers and studies and all the rest of that stuff. But really, you don't need any of that. You can tell just by living in the world that we are in. Right, empathy, it's gone now. It's out the window. So if you do have empathy, share it, right? And show people that having a bit of empathy can indeed work wonders for your mind and your soul, right? So, yeah, share it about. Share the love, as they say. So that is our winner for last week's meme of the week. Now, before we get into this week's top 5, I do indeed want to touch on, once again, these guys. And yes, I'm sure we all know these guys by now. These criminals, the worst criminals to grace this fucking earth. I shit you not. And yes, this guy is also a fucking Rockefeller. Kermit the fucking frog. I mean, this is a face that you would never, ever stop punching. And of course, these guys, the magical WHO. Where would we be without them, right? Well, this from Sputnik the other day. Peruvian court probing judge's ruling alleging Soros, Bill Gates are creators of COVID-19 pandemic. Dun, dun, dun. And finally, an article that is music to my fucking ears. But of course, we will indeed take it with a pinch of salt for the time being. But yeah, these people, the Rockefellers, Gates, and Soros, are indeed the people that we need to seek conviction. Right there behind it, straight up. And to expand on this, it said, we have ordered a preliminary investigation into the Chief Justice of the Criminal Appeals Chamber, Chinicha, and Pisco, to obtain evidence that will help determine the presence or absence of alleged violations. The ICA Supreme Court said in a message published on its Facebook page. Right, so the Criminals Appeals Chamber, or the Chief Justice, is now investigating such claims in regards to Gates and Soros, and of course the Rockefellers. And to expand on it a bit more, no world government, natural and legal persons, nor the defendant's defence can maintain that this pandemic has the quality of being predictable, except for the creators of the New World Order, such as Bill Gates, Soros, Rockefeller, and others. Yeah, the Rothschilds, who handled it and continue to do so with extreme secrecy within their environments and global corporations, the court earlier argued. Damn fucking straight. And it would look like that it is now not only us and people like us who have clicked on to Gates and the Rockefellers, and of course hideous people like fucking Soros. And it then does say, this comes amid ongoing conspiracy theories about the man-made origin of COVID-19, even though the World Health Organization in May 2020 confirmed the virus was of animal origin. Right, but did they? Did the WHO actually confirm that? Because as far as I can see, they have not officially confirmed it, right? But they are seemingly, tomorrow actually, on Thursday, meant to be going into China to investigate the origins. And we touched on this in the past. And I kind of have the feeling that the story in regards to the origins may indeed change, right? But I could be wrong. So China have been dragging their heels, but seemingly the team of experts, the A team from the WHO, will be arriving in China tomorrow. So yeah, time will tell. But sticking with the Rockefellers, these heroes of the world, and I do not fucking think. Now, I wanted to touch on this last week, and Dr. Vernon Coleman did indeed also mention this when he was on the Richie Allen show on Monday, and it's in regards to this Earth Summit that happened in 1992, where all the world's leaders gathered hastily and rushed to this summit in Rio de Janeiro to basically come up with a plan to save the world. Sure, right? But of course, it's the complete opposite. And this is where they coined the term Agenda 21. How fantastic, right? Agenda 21 is a comprehensive plan for intergovernmental agencies, national governments, local governments, and NGOs to work together to protect the environment through sustainable development. Right, so yeah, it's Agenda 2030, and all the local governments, no matter how small or big, need to be in this together, because we need to save the environment, like our good friend Larry Rockefeller, who loved nature. Seemingly he wants to save the world, sure. And if we go to the Trilateral Commission, this wee report that they done in regards to this 1992 Save the World Summit, right? Beyond interdependence, the meshing of the world's economy and the Earth's ecology. Wow, I mean, really then, people should have fucking clicked for sure. And of course, who was behind this? Well, it was indeed our hero, David Rockefeller. Now, ain't that a massive surprise? Of course, it would be the fucking Rockefellers. They are behind everything. Well, I say everything, but that's not entirely true, because they are not behind anything that is good for me and you. But anything bad, you can be rest assured that the Rockefellers will indeed be lurking, or the hero Bill Gates, the face of the pandemic. And if we go to David's Wikipedia in regards to his wonderful life, right? In 1992, at a council-sponsored forum, Rockefeller proposed a Western Hemisphere free trade area. What a magnificently wonderful idea, and I don't fucking think. This, of course, would have been to control the trade, right? And suffocate anyone that doesn't play ball. So at this forum or summit in 1992, headed by David Rockefeller and another Rothschild, whose name fails me at the time being, but them two headed the summit. They're the ones that are behind it fucking all. And in 1992, Davy was a very busy man. He was selected as the leading member of the Russian-American Bankers Forum, an advisory group set up by the head of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York to advise Russia on the modernization of its banking system. How wonderful that we had Davy, our hero, to sort all this out and look after the good people of Russia and America. Sure. Now, of course, the Rockefellers bring us everything that is bad. And they even brought us the Georgia Guidestones. And we will touch on these again. But if you've not seen my video on who's behind them, then check it out, right? It is indeed the Rockefellers. And I even think I pinned it to one of them, right? So have a look and see what you think, if not already. But like I said, we will revisit the Guidestones because, yeah, everything that I have seen since only concretes my opinion that it is indeed the Rockefellers that are behind them. And if we look at this photo here, this is again our hero Davy. And what is he up to now? Well, this is David giving what they call a gift of $8.5 million to the UN so they can purchase a site to build headquarters, right? So yeah, this is how they make out like they are charitable, but all they are doing is buying people off and taking control for themselves. This is what they do. They stroll into town with all their money, their pockets bulging, and get the politicians on side because the politicians love money. Big time. Like I have said, go and find a poor politician. You fucking won't. Nowhere in this world will you find a poor politician. Thanks to people like the Rockefellers, right? We need to take them down, straight up. And we will leave them for the time being, but they will indeed be back. Mark my words, right? They are always fucking there. But this is Meme of the Week. So let's get into this week's top 5. Are you ready? Good. This is number 1, and it says, the only thing worse than not thinking is thinking like everyone else. Straight fucking up. And this is number 2, and it's Lisa Simpson. And the whiteboard says, if you let politicians break the law in an emergency, they will create an emergency in order to break the law. Another classic, that one. And this is number 3. The world isn't getting worse or darker. The veil sheltering you from reality is lifting. Yep, another classic, that one. And number 4. In the game of politics played by cults, nothing is accidental. If something happens, be assured it was planned to happen. Straight up. And number 5, take a long, sobering look into the not too distant future. Yep, you better fucking believe it. If not already, then look out for it, because it is coming. And here in the UK, it is full scale fucking mental for the tyranny. It's crazy, really. I honestly cannot stop shaking my head at every new guideline that they come out with. And unfortunately, by the looks of it, as I make this, there is still yet more fucking tyrannical measures to come in the UK. And we will touch on it in the Friday Fix, which will indeed be again fucking jam-packed, I can assure you. And then on Saturday, we will indeed have the unpreviously fought syndrome. So, look out for it. And thank you to everyone who engages and who votes. As always, just put the number you would like to win And next week I will calculate the votes, and hopefully we do indeed have a winner. So thanks again to everyone, and that is about it. Bye bye.